My wife doesn't want you there. You suffocate me. Those 9 words detonated 14 years of my life when I asked my brother why I wasn't at his wedding. I'm Victoria Bennett, 35, and the sister who raised him just became a ghost in his brand new marriage. Here's why this gutted me. When our father Robert collapsed from a heart attack at the hospital where I was doing nursing clinicals, Ethan was 13 and I was 22. I walked away from my ICU residency that same week, picked up graveyard shifts at 2 different hospitals, 7 to 3 at Portland General, 11 to 7 at Providence, whatever it took. Kept him fed, uniformed, dreaming of medical school. I covered his entire MD tuition, graduation gift included. Then came the $285,000 townhouse in Portland's Pearl District, title still in my name alone. I even built a $42,000 residency prep fund from overtime checks and skipped vacations for the Boston program he'd obsessed over since sophomore year. Last Saturday morning, mid-latte at my usual Portland coffee spot, Facebook blindsided me. My brother Ethan, sharp in a charcoal tux, wrapped around a woman in ivory silk, Brianna Walsh, the corporate recruiter he'd casually mentioned dating 6 months back. They were kissing under vineyard string lights, her diamond catching sunset. The caption punched, "Finally free to start our real life together." My hands went cold. The ceramic mug nearly slipped from my grip. No call. No text. No, by the way, I'm getting married. Nothing. I scrolled through 47 photos like I was watching someone else's life. Ceremony vows, cake cutting, first dance, champagne toasts. Every single moment happened yesterday at some boutique winery an hour outside the city. The comments overflowed with congratulations from people I'd never met, strangers celebrating while I sat there erased. Before the whole empire collapses, hit subscribe and smash that like button if you're ready to witness the ultimate family implosion. I called him. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. 3rd attempt, 4th, 5th, all the same robotic greeting. By the 7th try, my thumb hovered, then jabbed the screen one final time. This time it rang. Twice. Then a woman's voice sliced through, sharp and irritated, clearly on speaker. "What now?" "Put Ethan on the phone," I said, forcing my voice steady. Brianna, because of course it was her, laughed, cold and dismissive. "Oh, it's you. Listen, Victoria, Ethan's busy. We just got back from the reception, and he really doesn't need you stirring up drama right now." I gripped the phone tighter, pulse hammering in my ears. Stirring? I didn't even know there was a wedding. Why wasn't I told? Silence hung for 3 seconds. Then her voice turned to ice. "Because I didn't want you there. You hover over him like he's still some helpless kid, always inserting yourself, paying for everything just to keep control. It's suffocating, honestly. And Ethan agrees. He's tired of it." My breath stopped. "He said that." I heard movement, then my brother's voice in the background, muffled but unmistakable. "Brianna, just give me the phone." She didn't. Instead, she raised her volume for maximum impact. "See, even now you're making demands. We're married, Victoria. Adults. We don't need your approval or your money anymore." That's when everything clicked into place. The townhouse he lived in? Mine. The fund he'd been planning around? Mine. Every single safety net he'd taken for granted? All mine. And they had no idea what was about to happen. But to understand why that phone call was the final straw, you need to see exactly what those 14 years cost me, and what they bought him. It started the day Dad died. You've listened to my story up to this point. Don't let my sacrifice disappear into silence like it did for my brother. If you made it this far, you owe me one thing. Subscribe right now, and drop a comment with the time and place you're watching from. Let me know this struggle mattered to somebody, somewhere. Otherwise, the next part might just hit too close to home for you too. Now let us continue. February 14th, 2011. I remember because it was Valentine's Day, and Dad had promised to take Ethan out for burgers after his basketball practice. I was in my 3rd year of nursing clinicals at Oregon Health and Science University, rotating through the cardiac unit. The irony wasn't lost on me later. My phone rang at 2:47 p.m. Ethan's voice, raw and terrified. "Vic, Dad collapsed. They brought him here. To your hospital." I found him in the ER waiting room, still in his practice jersey, knees pulled to his chest. 13 years old and suddenly an orphan. Our mom had died from complications during his birth. The attending physician, Dr. Kaplan, delivered the news with clinical efficiency. Massive myocardial infarction, pronounced dead at 3:12 p.m. Ethan didn't cry. He just stared at the vending machine across the hall, watching the lights flicker. That night, social services knocked on our apartment door. A woman with a manila folder explained that Ethan would need to enter foster care unless I could demonstrate financial stability and guardianship capability. I was 22 with $847 in my checking account and 6 months left until graduation. The choice wasn't really a choice at all. I withdrew from the ICU residency program the following Monday. My advisor, Dr. Patel, tried to convince me to defer instead of quit. "You're throwing away your future," she said. I remember thinking, no, I'm building his. The graveyard shift started immediately. Portland General hired me as a floor nurse, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Then I'd sleep 4 hours, wake up at 7 p.m., and clock into Providence Medical Center for the overnight, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Rinse, repeat. I saw Ethan for breakfast before school and help with homework during my breaks, FaceTiming from hospital supply closets. Weekends I picked up per diem shifts, wherever they'd take me. I made it work. Ethan stayed fed, stayed in school, stayed dreaming about medical school like Dad had always wanted for him. When he graduated high school with honors, I was there in my scrubs because I couldn't take the day off, but I was there. When his medical school acceptance letter arrived from Oregon Health and Science, my old program, I framed it and hung it above his desk. When he needed a place to live during residency, I scraped together the down payment for that Pearl District townhouse, $57,000 from 6 years of overtime and skipped meals. Title in my name because his credit was non-existent. The $42,000 residency fund came from everywhere. Tax refunds, holiday bonuses, the vacation to Hawaii I never took, the car I drove into the ground instead of replacing. Every spare dollar went into that 529 account because Ethan had mentioned, just once, sophomore year, that he wanted to do a specialty prep program in Boston. I remembered. I saved. I made it happen. And now, on this phone call, his wife was calling me suffocating. "Listen, Victoria," Brianna continued, her voice sharp with impatience. "Ethan's busy right now. We just got back from our reception and, honestly, he doesn't need you stirring up drama." I gripped the phone tighter, my pulse hammering in my temples. Stirring? I didn't even know there was a wedding. Why wasn't I told? A beat of silence. Then ice. "Because I didn't want you there," she said, each word deliberate. You hover over him like he's still some helpless kid, always inserting yourself, always paying for things just to keep control over him. It's pathetic, honestly. And Ethan agrees. He's exhausted by it. My breath caught. He said that. "Victoria." Her tone shifted to condescending patience, like she was explaining something to a child. "Ethan is 29 years old, a medical resident, a married man. He doesn't need you managing every detail of his life anymore." I heard movement in the background, muffled voices. Then Ethan's voice, distant but unmistakable. "Brianna, just give me the phone." She didn't. "See." Brianna's voice rose, making sure Ethan could hear. "Even now she's making demands. We're married, Victoria. Adults. We don't need your approval or your money anymore." Something in my chest cracked. "For the record," I said slowly, "I'm a corporate recruiter, 31, and I just accepted a VP of talent acquisition position with a $180,000 salary. We're more than financially stable. Translation, we don't need you anymore." My hand trembled. Put my brother on the phone. "Now." "Ethan." Brianna's voice turned sing-song. "Your sister wants to talk." A pause. Rustling. Then finally his voice, hesitant, guilty. "Sis, listen." "Don't." I cut him off. "Just tell me." To my face. "Did you agree with what she just said? That I'm pathetic? That I use money to control you?" He exhaled, long and slow. "It's not that simple. You've done a lot for me, obviously. But yeah, it does feel like there are strings attached. Like I can't make decisions without checking with you first. I'm 29, Vic. I don't need you managing my life anymore." The words detonated. I raised you, I said, voice shaking. After Dad died, I was 22, and I walked away from everything to keep you out of foster care. I worked doubles for 14 years. Paid for your college, your medical school, the down payment on your townhouse. Exactly. Brianna's voice sliced back in. Always the hero speech. It's exhausting. Ethan wants space, and I'm giving it to him. That's what partners do. Ethan. I tried again, desperation bleeding through. Talk to me. Alone. Please. He sighed again, and I knew the answer before he spoke. There's nothing more to say, sis. Brianna knows what's best for us now. That's when something inside me went cold. Clinical. Surgical. Fine, I said, my voice dropping to ICU nurse calm. Let me clarify a few things then. Brianna scoffed. Here we go. The townhouse you're probably unpacking wedding gifts in right now. I continued, ignoring her. That's on my dime. Every month, $2,100 mortgage payment comes straight from my checking account. The title deed has my name only. Not yours, Ethan. Mine. Silence. The $42,000 residency prep fund you mentioned to Brianna last month? The one you were planning to use for that Boston program. My voice stayed level, detached. That's in a 529 education account with my name as owner. You're listed as beneficiary only. I can withdraw at any time. Victoria, Ethan started. Car insurance? My policy. My payments. $185 a month, I continued. Utilities at the townhouse, electricity, water, internet bundle, all auto-drafted from my account. $240 monthly. Streaming services, grocery delivery subscription, gym membership, all mine. You're on my family plans. Brianna's voice came back, defensive now. Please. Ethan's got this covered. My VP salary. Do you? I asked coldly. Because from where I'm standing, you've been living rent-free in a home I own, spending money from accounts I funded, using services I pay for. And now you're calling me pathetic for it. Brianna recovered quickly, her tone turning dismissive. We'll cover the townhouse ourselves. Transfer the title whenever you're ready. As for the fund, consider it a wedding gift. We're cashing it early for the Boston program anyway. A gift, I repeated, something bitter rising in my throat. I scraped for 6 years to build that fund. Overtime shifts, holiday bonuses, vacations I never took. And you think you can just cash it? Vic, come on, Ethan said, his voice placating now. Brianna's company just promoted her. We'll be fine. We don't need my help. I finished. Is that what you were going to say? I was going to say we don't need you to worry, he said quietly. We're adults. We've got this. Right, I said. Adults. Brianna's voice turned sharp again, final. Look, this conversation is going nowhere. Don't call again, unless it's to congratulate us properly. Ethan and I have a life to start, without interference. I tried one last time, my voice cracking despite myself. Ethan, is this really what you want? He hesitated, just for a second, and I heard the brother I raised. Then he spoke, and that brother was gone. There's nothing more to say, sis. Brianna knows what's best for us. Brianna's voice came through one final time, dripping with finality. Your era's over, Victoria. Bye. Click. The call disconnected. The silence in my apartment felt deafening. I stared at my phone screen. Call duration, 11 minutes, 34 seconds. 11 minutes to erase 14 years. My hands were steady now. My pulse had slowed. The hurt was still there, buried beneath something colder. Something calculated. They wanted independence. They wanted to be adults without my interference. They wanted to cut me out and keep everything I'd built for them. Fine. I set the phone down on my kitchen counter and walked to my home office. Opened my laptop. The screen glowed in the dim light. If they wanted independence, they were about to get it. All of it. I grabbed my keys before I could second-guess myself. The drive from my northeast Portland apartment to the Pearl District took 20 minutes through light Saturday night traffic. 20 minutes of replaying every word from that phone call. Suffocating. Pathetic. Your era is over. Brianna's voice looped in my head, each repetition sharpening the anger. My knuckles whitened on the steering wheel. My jaw ached from clenching. I'd worked 14 years to give Ethan a foundation. 14 years of sacrifice dismissed in 11 minutes. Every double shift I'd pulled, every vacation I'd skipped, every dollar I'd scraped together, all of it reduced to strings attached. The Pearl District rose ahead, its industrial chic aesthetic glowing under streetlights. The $285,000 townhouse I'd purchased 3 years ago sat in a converted warehouse building on Northwest Lovejoy. Market value had climbed to $312,000, decent appreciation in Portland's unpredictable housing market. I checked the comps obsessively when interest rates spiked, making sure my investment stayed sound. Now it felt like enemy territory. I parked in the guest spot, the one I paid $75 monthly to reserve, and killed the engine. The building facade looked the same as always. Exposed brick, oversized windows, that trendy industrial charm that made the Pearl so desirable. Lights glowed from the third-floor unit. Their unit. My unit. 10 p.m. Late enough that I'd be interrupting. Good. I rode the elevator up, my reflection staring back from the polished steel doors. Still in my weekend jeans and t-shirt. Hair pulled back. Face set. I looked exactly like what I was. A woman who'd reached her limit. The elevator chimed. Third floor. I walked down the corridor, exposed ductwork overhead, polished concrete floors, and stopped at Unit 314. The door I'd opened hundreds of times to deliver groceries, drop off care packages, check on my brother. Now I knocked. 3 times. Firm. No hesitation. Footsteps inside. The deadbolt clicked. Brianna appeared in the doorway, dressed in black yoga pants and an oversized gray hoodie, phone clutched in one hand. Her expression shifted from curiosity to annoyance in half a second. She positioned herself squarely in the frame, blocking entry. "What are you doing here?" Her tone carried that same sharp edge from the phone call. "We're unpacking." "I need to talk to my brother," I said evenly. "Alone." She crossed her arms, phone still visible. "Anything you need to say, you can say in front of me. I'm his wife now." Behind her, I caught movement. Ethan emerged from the living room, hair disheveled, still wearing the button-down from the wedding photos. Wedding gifts covered the dining table, boxes wrapped in silver and white, cards scattered across surfaces. Evidence of a celebration I hadn't been invited to. "Sis," Ethan said, rubbing the back of his neck. "It's late. Can we do this tomorrow?" "No," I replied. "We do this now." Brianna didn't budge. "Not happening. If you have something to say, spit it out." I looked past her, directly at Ethan. "You let her call me pathetic on the phone. You agreed that I use money to control you. I want you to explain that to my face." Ethan shifted his weight, avoiding my eyes. "It's not, look, you always act like you know what's best for me. Paying my bills, planning my future. It makes me feel like I can't stand on my own 2 feet." "Stand on your own," I repeated slowly. "The townhouse mortgage. That's $2,100 a month I've paid for 3 years. That's $75,600 total, not counting the $57,000 down payment. The car insurance that keeps you legal to drive? $185 monthly from my account. The utilities keeping your lights on right now? $240 a month, auto-drafted from my checking." A door opened down the hallway. I turned. A neighbor in sweatpants stood in his doorway, phone raised, camera pointed directly at us. The little red recording light blinked. Another door cracked open across the hall. A woman in her 50s peeked out, then pulled her phone from her pocket. More recording lights. Brianna noticed. A smile curved her lips, predatory. "See, Ethan? This is exactly what I mean." She shows up unannounced, makes a scene in front of the whole building. "You want to talk about scenes?" My voice rose despite myself. "You called me pathetic. You said I suffocate him. And now you're recording this." The neighbor with the phone muttered to someone inside his unit, just loud enough to carry. "Family fight right after the wedding." "This is wild." Brianna's smile widened. "Before this ends up all over the building's Facebook group, you might want to leave. You don't want to look desperate in front of everyone, do you?" Ethan stepped forward, positioning himself beside Brianna. "Sis, come on. This isn't helping anyone. This is our life now. We're building something without the safety net. You need to accept it. Or don't," Brianna added, her voice ice. "Either way, Close the door on your way out. The hallway suddenly felt smaller. 3 cameras pointed at me. Voices whispered from behind cracked doors. Public humiliation on full display. I could push past Brianna, force my way in, demand the conversation I deserved. But what would that prove? That I was controlling, suffocating, everything they'd accused me of being. I held Ethan's gaze one more second. Saw no recognition there. No gratitude. No brother. Just a man who'd made his choice. I turned. Walked back to the elevator. Pressed the button. The door slid open immediately, and I stepped inside. As they closed, I caught my reflection in the mirrored panel, jaws set, eyes dry, exterior calm. Inside, the storm raged. Down in the parking lot, I sat behind the wheel for a full minute. The building loomed above me, windows glowing with other people's lives. Lights flickered on and off as residents went about their Saturday nights oblivious. If they wanted independence, so badly I'd give it to them. All of it. I started the engine and pulled out into the empty street. The drive home passed in mechanical silence. Park. Lock car. Elevator. Unlocked door. My apartment felt different somehow, quieter, colder. Or maybe I was different. I went straight to the kitchen table, opened my laptop, and waited for it to boot. The clock on the microwave read 11:07 p.m. A blank spreadsheet appeared on screen. I labeled the columns. Asset, value, legal owner, action required. Then I started typing. Line 1. Pearl District Townhouse, NW Lovejoy. Purchase price, $285,000. Current market value, $312,000. Title holder, Victoria and Bennett. Line 2. 529 Education Savings Plan, designated for residency prep program. Balance, $42,000 accumulated over 6 years. Account owner, Victoria Bennett. Beneficiary, Ethan Bennett, revocable. Line 3. Monthly mortgage payment, Pearl District property. $2,100 auto draft from Wells Fargo checking account. Line 4. HOA dues, Pearl District Townhouse. $450 monthly. Line 5. Property tax escrow, quarterly payment. $1,800. Line 6. Car insurance policy, State Farm. $185 monthly. Line 7. Utilities bundle, electricity, water, internet, building amenities. $240 monthly. Line 8. Streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Spotify Family Plan. $47 monthly. I scrolled to the bottom. Added a sum formula. Total financial exposure, $327,422. $327,000 I'd invested, paid, covered. For what? To be called suffocating. I glanced at the clock. 11:58 p.m. My fingers found Danielle Foster's contact. We'd met at a hospital fundraiser 3 years back. She specialized in real estate and estate law. I hit call. 4 rings. Then a groggy voice. Victoria? It's midnight. What's wrong? I need a fast legal assessment. I said, my voice clinical. NurseCom. Every asset on this spreadsheet is titled or billed solely to me. Can I unwind everything? Sell the townhouse, withdraw the education fund, cancel insurance and utilities, without giving my brother or his wife grounds to sue. Papers rustled on her end. Hold on, let me get to my desk. A pause. Okay, give me the summary. I explained. Chronologically. Dispassionately. Father's death. 14 years of support. Secret wedding. Phone call confrontation. Tonight's doorstep humiliation. Danielle was quiet for 10 seconds. Then, sole ownership is bulletproof. If your name is on the deed alone, it's your property to sell. The 529 withdrawal will trigger income tax plus a 10% penalty, but that's your financial hit, not theirs. Real estate, your deed, your decision. List it, sell it, pocket the proceeds. They have no legal standing. Any loopholes? I asked. Only if you sign documentation promising permanent gifting, Danielle said. Did you? No. Then you're clear, she confirmed. Forward me all documents, deed, 529 statements, insurance policies, mortgage paperwork. I'll review tonight and send action templates by morning. I emailed everything within 5 minutes. Scanned deed, bank statements, insurance declarations, mortgage amortization schedules. Danielle's response landed at 12:47 a.m. Ironclad. Attached. Templates for 529 withdrawal, real estate listing agreement, insurance cancellation forms, utility service termination. You're legally clear to proceed. Call me Monday if you need anything else. DF. I open the attachments. Official forms, pre-filled with my information, all requiring only my signature and submission. My finger hovered over the touchpad. Was this too far? I closed my eyes. Heard Brianna's voice. Your era is over. Saw Ethan standing beside her, agreeing with every insult. Remember the neighbors filming, the public humiliation, the complete dismissal of everything I'd sacrificed. They wanted independence. They'd get it. I opened my eyes. Clicked the first form. Selected confirm cancellation on the car insurance policy. A confirmation box appeared. Are you sure you want to terminate coverage? I clicked yes. The screen refreshed. Policy termination scheduled for 12:01 a.m., effective immediately. One down. I opened the next form. Then the next. And the next. Day 1, Sunday. I called Marcus Chen at 9 a.m. sharp. He'd sold me the Pearl District townhouse 3 years ago and have been sending market update emails ever since. The kind agents send when they're fishing for repeat business. This time, he'd get it. Victoria, great to hear from you. How's the townhouse treating you? His voice carried that practiced enthusiasm realtor's perfect. I'm selling, I said. Fast sale. Price it at $312,000. I want it listed today. Silence for 2 beats. Today's Sunday. But, okay, yes. Market's been strong in the Pearl. We can absolutely move quickly. I'll send over the listing agreement within the hour. The paperwork arrived at 10:15 a.m. I signed electronically. By noon, professional photos were scheduled for Tuesday morning. By 2 p.m., Marcus had staging recommendations and a lockbox code for showings. By 4 p.m., the listing was live. Day 2, Monday. I logged into the 529 account at 6 a.m. before my hospital shift. The withdrawal form required a reason. Early withdrawal for non-education expenses. I checked the box. Amount, $42,000. The system calculated penalties automatically. 10% federal penalty, $4,200, plus ordinary income tax on the full amount. I'd owe roughly $12,600 total come April. Acceptable collateral damage. I click Submit. Funds will be transferred to your linked checking account within 5 to 7 business days. Done. Day 3, Tuesday. The car insurance cancellation email arrived in my inbox at 7:03 a.m. Policy number 4472 PPD has been terminated effective immediately. Ethan's coverage gone. If he got pulled over now, he'd face fines, possible license suspension. Not my problem anymore. Day 4, Wednesday. I contacted Portland General Electric, the Water Bureau, and CenturyLink Internet. Same script for each. I'm selling the property at 314 NW Lovejoy. Please terminate auto pay from my account and send final cutoff notices to the current occupants. The PG representative asked, Are the occupants aware of the termination? They will be, I said. Service disconnection notices would arrive within 10 days if new accounts weren't opened. Electricity, water, internet, all counting down. Day 5, Thursday. Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max canceled. Spotify Family Plan downgraded to individual. LA Fitness shared membership removed Ethan's name. Instacart grocery delivery subscription tied to the townhouse address terminated. Each confirmation email felt like peeling off dead skin, shedding weight I'd carried for 14 years. Day 6, Friday. Marcus called at 2 p.m., excitement crackling through the line. Victoria, we've got 3 offers. All came in within the last 4 hours. I put him on speaker while reviewing charts at the nurse's station. Details. Offer 1, $308,000, conventional financing, 30-day close. Offer 2, $310,000, FHA loan, 45-day close with inspection contingency. Offer 3, $312,000, all cash, 14-day close, no contingencies. Accept offer 3, I said immediately. You don't want a counter? We could. No. I want speed. Accept it now. Day 7, Saturday. The purchase agreement arrived via DocuSign at 10 a.m. All cash buyer, 14-day close, $5,000 earnest money already deposited. I signed while drinking coffee on my balcony. Closing date, November 29th. Day 8, Sunday. I drove to Portland General Hospital and requested updates to my employee records. Emergency contact changed from Ethan Bennett, brother, to Danielle Foster, friend. Health insurance beneficiary removed Ethan entirely. Life insurance policy through the hospital changed beneficiary to the Oregon Nurses Foundation. The HR coordinator asked gently, "Everything okay, Victoria?" "Just updating paperwork," I replied. "Long overdue." Day 9, Monday. I changed the locks on my apartment door. Ethan had a key for emergencies, left over from years of me working overnight shifts and needing someone nearby. He'd never used it, but it existed. Not anymore. I blocked his number on my phone. Blocked him on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Changed my privacy settings to maximum. Disappeared from his digital world entirely. Day 10, Tuesday. Danielle sent the formal eviction notice via certified mail and email. Legal language, clinical tone, notice of property sale and required vacancy. Per Oregon landlord-tenant law, occupants must vacate within 30 days of sale closing. Closing date, November 29th, vacancy required by December 29th. 30 days to find somewhere else to live. I felt nothing. No guilt. No second thoughts. Just ice-cold efficiency. Each cancellation confirmation felt like closure. Each severed tie a weight lifted. The text started day 3. Unknown number, 9:47 p.m. Vic, what's going on? My car insurance was canceled. I deleted it. Unknown number, day 4, 6:23 p.m. The internet's off. Did you forget to pay the bill? Delete. Unknown number, day 5, 11:15 a.m. Water shut-off notice. Call me. Delete. Unknown number, day 7, 3:42 p.m. We're being evicted? What the hell did you do? Delete. Unknown number, day 10, multiple messages. Victoria, answer your phone. This is insane, you can't just sell the house. We have rights. Brianna's lawyer says we can fight this. Call me. Delete. 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 Sarah and Gwen, a mutual friend from medical school, texted day 8. Hey, Ethan's been asking everyone if they've heard from you. Says you've gone nuclear. You okay? I responded immediately. He wanted independence. He got it. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. No response came. 2 weeks passed like a fever dream. I worked my shifts, came home to my quiet apartment, tracked the townhouse sale progress through Marcus's updates. The buyer's inspection came back clean. Title search cleared. Appraisal matched sale price. November 29th arrived. I met Danielle at the title company office at 10 a.m. Signed documents for 40 minutes. Initial disclosures. Certified the deed transfer. At 11:23 a.m., the wire transfer hit my account. Sale price, $312,000 mortgage payoff, $247, $328 realtor commission, 5% $15, $600 closing costs, $4, $872 title insurance, $2, $100 transfer taxes, $936 miscellaneous, fees, $164. Net proceeds, $27,000. I logged into my Wells Fargo account on my phone, created a new savings account, and labeled it Freedom Fund. Transferred the full $27,000. Danielle watched me, her expression unreadable. How do you feel? Lighter, I said. Month 3. The LinkedIn notification pinged while I was restocking supplies in the ICU medroom. Brianna Walsh has updated her profile. I shouldn't have clicked, but I did. Her headline had changed. Gone was VP of Talent Acquisition at TechBridge Solutions. The new version read, Exploring new opportunities, open to work. Unemployed. I clicked through to her full profile. The VP position had vanished entirely. Her employment history now showed Senior Recruiter, TechBridge Solutions, January 2023 to October 2025. 2 months ago, right after the wedding. Curiosity pulled me deeper. I searched TechBridge Solutions restructuring. Found a Portland Business Journal article from September. TechBridge Solutions eliminates 30 positions in restructuring, including entire executive recruiting division. The VP promotion Brianna had bragged about never existed. The position had been eliminated before she could transition into it. But she'd already spent money against that phantom salary. I remembered her words on the phone. My VP salary, $180,000. I pulled up her Instagram. Still public, surprisingly. Maldives honeymoon photos. Overwater bungalows. Champagne at sunset. Designer resort wear. Caption: living our best life. Geotag show dates. October 20th to 27th. 1 week after the wedding. Before the restructuring announcement. All charged to credit cards, I bet. Banking on income that never materialized. I clicked back to Ethan's profile. Also still visible to me, apparently he hadn't thought to block his sister. His bio listed: resident physician, Oregon Health and Science University. Internal medicine. First-year resident salary at OHSU, $58,000 annually. Pre-tax, roughly $3,800 monthly take-home after taxes and insurance. The eviction notice had forced them into a new apartment. I'd seen the address on one of Ethan's ignored text screenshots Sarah had forwarded. A complex in Beaverton. I looked up rental rates in that area. 2-bedroom apartments, $2,400 to $2,600 monthly. Math didn't work. Not without Brianna's income. Not without my support. They were drowning. I felt nothing. Month 4. Dr. Rachel Kim cornered me in the break room during shift change. We'd overlapped at OHSU years ago. She knew Ethan from when he was a medical student. Victoria, can I ask you something? She poured coffee, not meeting my eyes. Is Ethan okay? I heard through the grapevine he's having a rough time. I kept my voice neutral. We're not in contact. Rachel hesitated. Look, I don't know what happened between you two. But he's struggling. People are talking. Talking about what? She glanced at the doorway, lowered her voice. Apparently his wife, Brianna, was caught having an affair with her old supervisor from work. Ethan found out through hotel charges on their credit card. Explicit texts. The whole thing blew up. My coffee had gone cold in my hand. When? 2 weeks ago. Rachel shrugged. She left him. Moved in with the guy. Stuck Ethan with something like $22,000 in credit card debt from their wedding and honeymoon. He's solo on a lease he can't afford. I processed this clinically. The affair explained Brianna's sudden unavailability on LinkedIn. The debt explained the financial pressure. The lease explained the desperation in Ethan's escalating texts. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Rachel looked at me directly. Because you're his sister. I thought you'd want to know. We're not in contact, I repeated. By his choice. I walked out before she could respond. In the parking lot, I sat in my car for 5 minutes. Brianna had called Ethan too weak and clingy, just like she called me suffocating. She'd used him for financial stability, burned through his credit, then abandoned him when it fell apart. Exactly like I'd predicted. I started the engine and drove home. I didn't call Ethan. Didn't unblock his number. Didn't soften. He'd made his choice. Now he'd live with it. 4 months passed like seasons changing outside my window. My phone rang on a Tuesday afternoon while I was meal prepping in my kitchen. Unknown number. Portland area code, 503. I almost declined it. My thumb hovered over the red button. Then I answered. Vic! The voice cracked, barely recognizable. Please don't hang up. Ethan. He was sobbing, raw, desperate sounds that came from somewhere deep. I'm calling from someone's phone at a Shell station on 82nd. Mine got shut off. I said nothing. Just held the phone to my ear, listening to him struggle for breath. I lost the residency, he said finally. 3 no-shows in 2 weeks. Performance issues, they called it. Attendance problems. They put me on a performance improvement plan, but I couldn't keep up. They terminated my contract. More sobbing. Background noise. Traffic. Distant voices. The hum of fluorescent lights. I got evicted last week, he continued, words tumbling out now. Couldn't pay rent after Brianna left. The landlord got a judgment. I've been living in my car for 6 days. Sleeping in Walmart parking lots. The credit cards are maxed. $22, 000. Collections started calling last month. I leaned against my kitchen counter, staring at the meal containers I'd been filling with grilled chicken and vegetables. My life orderly. His life collapsed. Brianna blocked my number, Ethan said, his voice breaking again. Blocked me on everything. She's living with him, the supervisor. Posted photos on Instagram like I never existed. Like we were never. He couldn't finish. Vic, I destroyed everything, he whispered. Please, you're all I have left. Can I just crash on your couch? Just for a few weeks while I figure this out? I swear I'll get another residency spot. I'll work, I'll pay you back. Silence stretched between us. I could hear his breathing, ragged and desperate. Sisters forgive, right? His voice turned pleading, childlike. That's what family does. I was wrong about everything. You were right. Brianna manipulated me. She isolated me from you and I let her. I should have. I waited. I should have stood up to her, he continued. Should have invited you to the wedding. You deserved better than what we did. You deserved respect. You raised me. You sacrificed everything and I threw it back in your face. I'm so sorry, Vic. Please. I'm begging you. The words hung in the air. 14 years of sacrifice compressed into 30 seconds of apology. I set down the container I'd been holding. Not the sister, I said, my voice cold and measured. What? Confusion flooded his tone. Vic, I'm homeless. I have nowhere to go. You graduated from my help, I interrupted. You wanted adulthood without training wheels. This is what it looks like. I'll pay you back. Desperation sharpened his words. Every cent. I'll get another residency. I'll work 2 jobs if I have to. Just please. You and your wife called me pathetic, I said, my voice cutting through his pleas. Suffocating. You said I used money to control you. You wanted independence. You have it. That was Brianna talking. His voice cracked. I didn't mean it. She twisted everything. Made me think. You agreed with her, I said flatly. In front of neighbors. On camera. Multiple people filmed you telling me you were building a life without the safety net. You made your choice. Silence. Then a last, desperate attempt. I'm your brother, he said, voice breaking. Dad would want you to help me. You know he would. Something in my chest tightened. My voice cracked just slightly. Dad would want you to be a man who keeps his word, who values family, who doesn't dismiss 14 years of sacrifice because his wife tells him to. You're not that person anymore. Vic! Lose this number, I said. I hung up. Immediately blocked the Shell station's number. My hand shook as I set the phone down on the counter. I walked to my living room, sat on the couch, and stared at nothing. Tears came then. Hot, unexpected, unwanted. I let them fall, but I didn't call back. I checked social media one final time that night. Brianna's Instagram profile was still public. Follower count, 48,327. Down from over 200,000 just months ago. The algorithm had abandoned her when engagement tanked. I scrolled through her recent posts. The comment section on older photos, the wedding shots, the Maldives honeymoon, had turned vicious before she disabled them entirely. Karma for ghosting family. Influencer scam exposed. Cheater. She left her husband homeless and ran off with another man. This is what narcissism looks like. Her LinkedIn showed zero activity, but mutual connections had started leaving professional warnings, disguised as endorsements. Passive-aggressive comments about reliability and ethical conduct. Job applications across Portland's recruiting industry were being systematically rejected. Word traveled fast in professional circles. Ethan's medical career had stalled completely. Losing a residency position required restarting the entire application process. He'd need to explain the termination in every interview. Prove he'd addressed the performance issues. Find program directors willing to take a chance on someone who'd already failed once. It could be done, but it would take years. I closed the apps, logged out, deleted them from my phone entirely. I was done watching. 6 months later, the new loft had floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking downtown Portland. I'd used the $27,000 from the townhouse sale as a down payment on a modern one-bedroom in the West End. Smaller than what I'd bought for Ethan, but mine. Truly mine. The promotion to ICU charge nurse had come with a $15,000 raise. More responsibility, better hours, leadership opportunities. I'd interviewed confidently, knowing my worth for the first time in years. Iceland in January, northern lights dancing green and purple across Arctic skies while I stood bundled in thermal gear, completely alone and completely content. Bali in March, yoga retreat at sunrise, meditation by the ocean, no one to report to or worry about. I'd started teaching CPR classes at the community center on weekends. Rebuilt my social circle with nursing colleagues who invited me to dinner parties, book club friends who recommended novels I actually had time to read, a hiking group that conquered trails every Saturday. Therapy with Dr. Sarah Chun helped me process the betrayal, establish boundaries I should have set years ago. She helped me see that sacrifice without reciprocity wasn't love, it was codependency. That walking away didn't make me cruel. It made me sane. Occasionally updates about Ethan, filtered through hospital grapevine. Couchsurfing with old med school classmates who eventually tired of housing him. Working retail at Target to cover minimum payments on the debt. Attending AA meetings after a DUI arrest. Reapplying to residency programs with little success. I felt neither satisfaction nor regret, just peaceful closure. 1 year later, I ran into David Park in the coffee shop near my loft. He'd lived 2 doors down from Ethan's old townhouse, the neighbor who'd filmed that final confrontation. "Victoria!" He waved, approaching with his latte. "Wow, haven't seen you since. Well, since that night." I smiled politely. "How are you, David?" "Good, good. Hey, I've been curious." He lowered his voice conspiratorially. "Whatever happened with your brother?" That whole situation was intense. Everyone in the building talked about it for weeks. I took a sip of my coffee, considered my words. He got what he wanted. I said finally. So did I. David's eyebrows rose, waiting for elaboration that didn't come. "Well, good to see you," I said. "Take care." I walked out into the spring morning, coffee warm in my hands. Sunday morning. I walked through my loft with my first cup of coffee, still in pajamas, morning light spilling through those massive windows. The Portland skyline stretched out before me, bridges spanning the Willamette, Mount Hood visible in the distance, the city waking up below. My space, my view, my peace. Ethan had chosen a partner who valued appearances over loyalty. He'd chosen to dismiss 14 years of sacrifice with a single phone call. He'd chosen public humiliation over private gratitude. He'd chosen to believe I was suffocating him rather than supporting him. His independence cost him everything he'd taken for granted. The education, the housing, the safety net, the family. Mine bought me back my life, and I'd make the same choice again, every single time. I set my coffee down, grabbed my gym bag, and headed out for my morning workout with the hiking group. We were tackling Mount Tabor today. Afterward, book club brunch. Then maybe a matinee film. My life, full and mine. Strong. Self-sufficient. Free. Exactly as it should be. If this story made you feel even a fraction of what I lived through, don't just scroll away. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next story, and do one more thing for me. Comment your favorite part of Victoria's journey, or the moment that hit you hardest. Your words are proof that in the end, someone was listening. Which part of my story would you have handled differently?